We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Everything started with a manifesto for creating another way of producing software, because as is presented in the video of this course, this is clear that waterfall is not the best suited way for creating projects. In this slide, you can see that there is value in the items on the right, no doubt about, but we value the items on the left more. Let's talk about these items. So let's take the first one, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Recognizes that the software is made by people, not processes or tools. Agile places a higher premium on people working together effectively. Processes and tools can aid in that but cannot replace it. Working software over comprehensive documentation. Valuing working software over comprehensive documentation stand in stark opposition to the waterfall model. A highly detailed, accurate and comprehensive specification document is of no value if it doesn't result in working software that meets user or client needs. This is not meaning that there is no documentation on agile projects like many people say, but working software may involve documentation. Agile only uses in its service to creating working software, not as an end unto itself. Let's see now customer collaboration over contract negotiation. While Agile isn't ignoring the reality of the contract, it values active collaboration throughout the software development process as a better way to deliver value instead of a carefully worded contract. A contract is no proxy for actual communication when we are doing something as challenging as creating software. And the last one, responding to changeover following a plan. Except for the most incredible simple systems, it's massively difficult to think of every feature, every piece of data, and every possible use case for software. That means in a collaborative process with the customer, a lot is discovered during the process of developing software. The world changes pretty fast, business needs and priorities can shift in the months or even years it can take for a large system to be fully built. Agile values the ability to change in response to new discoveries and needs over sticking to a plan created before everything was known and discovered. The people who wrote the Agile Manifesto later assembled 12 principles that inform and reinforce the manifesto. These principles are Scrum specific? No, they are not Scrum specific, but the Scrum is the most representative for Agile methods. This further illuminates the things Agile values in software development. In short, both the Agile and open source methodology embrace a number of principles. It shares the ideas of trying to build software suited especially to a class of users, interacting with those users during the design and implementation phases. This is the most important thing. Respecting technical excellence doing the job with motivated people and generally engaging in continuous design. Projects do nightly builds and releases frequently, mostly for the purpose of testing and gather feedback from the users. There is always the possibility of forking a project if such changes strike enough developers as worthwhile. Projects delivers working code every night like motto, release early, release often. This is in perfect agreement with open source development, even if it's probably not done much in open source projects. Although as open source projects became mature, they tend to develop a richer set of governance mechanisms. For example, Apache started with a very simple governance structure similar to that of Linux. And now there is the Apache Software Foundation with management, directors and officers. This represents a sort of reflection, and almost all community projects evolve their mechanism over time. Framework of Scrum works mainly because of the core foundations that stands behind him. Let's see in the next slides which best describes these core foundations. What is empiricism? Make decisions based on observation and experimentation, not theory. That is, replace detailed upfront planning and processes by just in time inspect and adapt cycles. I like to think of it as the pathway that starts the journey. Once you have embarked on the journey, there is no going back, a journey where you'll never stop learning and one that will never end. Empiricism is the act of making decisions based on what it is. Scrum is an empirical process, sometimes described as the art of the possible. Small teams manage their own workload and organize themselves around clear goals. Many organizations will tend in this way to have self-organizing teams, but this is another subject on this course. I've been nervous for a while about how well people would understand self-organizing Scrum teams and the development teams within. Our tendency and tooling from waterfall and predictive processes is to view people as assignable, optimized resources. This works great if you are running a factory line and people are doing simple work. But if you are trying to do creative, complex work where there are many competitive ideas and solutions emerge from interactions, this approach really sucks. The Agile Manifesto reflects this in individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Small teams manage their own workload and organize themselves around clear goals and constraints. You need to prioritize all the items that are entered into the product backlog. You as a product owner, of course. Each item stores the details of one product feature. Each item describes its business value, test cases, and acceptance criteria. Work on the most important thing. Do not waste time focusing on work that doesn't add immediate value. Reload algorithm for the next iteration. Establishing rhythm is like feeding chickens on a farm. When the chickens learn they get fed in the morning at the porch, you no longer have to go to the coop, they come to you. You have established credibility with the chickens. They trust they will be fed where and when you want to feed them, and they'll eat what you give them. Time boxing creates the rhythm that drives development. Scrum leaders, product visionaries, and customers collaborate with developers. They do not manage or direct them. The leaders of the Scrum teams are named based on meritocracy rather than named by another role of organization from middle to top management. I believe that the 5 Scrum values address the human aspect of Scrum in a way that Scrum processes, ceremonies, and roles do not. It provides a framework for how we can interact effectively as a team on a human level. If a team is aware and actively adhering to the 5 values, then many of the interpersonal problems that working together brings up can be identified and addressed in a direct manner. For this reason, the retrospective is Scrum's most useful weapon in dealing with the human issues brought up by working as a team.